All right, here I am at the South Broadway Railroad crossing here in Geneva, Ohio. So this crossing right here is a rather neat classic crossing owned by the Norfolk Southern Lake Erie district. And I guess this line kind of features many different crossings throughout. And since this is my first time here today, I decided to go down with my buddy once again to rail fan around some parts of Ohio. And since we caught a couple of trains here already, I figured why not tour a few of the cool crossings that are on this line. So like I said, this crossing has some pretty classic Safetran elements. I have to say this is around like a mid to late 70s install. So I guess all that said, I'll explain everything as I go on. So with that said, let's get to it. So for the first signal, this has a Safetran cantilever 70s wire style. And here's the emergency information, and the dot tag and the dot number is 472008G. And you can see there's a sticker emergency information up there. It says South Broadway etched into it. And for the gate mechanism, this has a Safetran gate mechanism, late 70s generation, sitting on a Safetran double-sided base. And this gate features some Rico LED gate lights, and there's no wind guard due to how short this mast is. And for the mast lights, this has 1.5 pairs of Safetran 8-inch lights and one Western Cullen Hayes 8-inch light, all incandescent, all sitting on a WRS light bracket. And oddly enough, this WRS light bracket's retrofitted with the Safetran light bracket arms. And for the overhead lights, this has 2 more pairs of Safetran 8-inch lights, all incandescent, sitting on a Safetran light bracket. And this signal has no bell on it, but right over here, there is another signal that is facing towards Leslie Street. Now, it's kind of cool how they put an entire signal here for side lights instead of putting a pair of side lights on the cantilever, but I guess they just did what they want. And they also put the street sign on it, as you can see, Leslie Street. So here is the next signal, which is a side-facing signal. This one has a Safetran 4-inch base, looks like late 70s generation. And this signal only has the sticker emergency information on it by Norfolk Southern. And there also used to be another sticker right here, I believe. And for the lights, this has 1 pair of Safetran 8-inch lights, both incandescent, as you can see, sitting on a Safetran light bracket. And this signal has no bell on it. So yeah, that was the first 2 signals. Now, one thing worth mentioning that the light wiring on this crossing is quite interesting. This signal and this signal run on their own flasher relay, and same thing with that signal and that signal. So this crossing has its signals running on their own flasher relays, but it was per pair of signals, like one cantilever and one mast run on their own flasher relay, while those 2 also run on their own flasher relay, which is completely separate. So yeah, I guess with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next cantilever signal. So yeah, so for the next one, which is similar to the first one, this one has another Safetran cantilever, 70s wire style. And here's the emergency information once again, plus the sticker emergency information. And for the gate mechanism, this has another Safetran gate mechanism, late 70s generation, sitting on a Safetran double-sided base. And the gate features some more Rico LED gate lights and no wind guard, mainly because the mast is short and it has the bell on top of it. And which, speaking of, the bell on this one is a Safetran mechanical bell, I'd say around mid-70s generation. As you can see, it has the Louisville, Kentucky lettering on it. It's kind of cool how it's right here, and you could just, touch it. Here's like the inside of it. Kind of see the clapper a little bit. The gong is slightly rusted, and I guess with that said, since I don't have to shake the mast, I can actually go up here and touch it. So here's what it sounds like. Yeah, it has that like deep sound to it, like a Rayco mechanical bell. So yep, there's that. But yeah, and for the rest of the stuff on the cantilever, so for the lights on this one, this has 1 pair of Western Cullen Hayes 8-inch lights, 1 Safetran 8-inch light, and 1 Wabco and USNS 8-inch light. Pretty stuff, like Wabco/USNS. So here's the logos, and all these lights are, once again, all incandescent, and these are all sitting on a Safetran light bracket. Yep. And then the overhead lights, there's 2 more pairs of Safetran 12x24, Safetran 8-inch lights, all incandescent, sitting on a Safetran light bracket. Now, as I think about it, I might have accidentally said 12x24-inch for these, but they're all 8-inch, 8x20 to be exact. And the cantilever itself has no bell on it, since that right there is the only bell. And speaking of the bells, the bell wiring on this crossing is the bell rings only when the gates are going down, but it doesn't ring again after that. I think I already mentioned that a little bit ago. I might have, but yeah, that's the bell wiring, I guess, once again. So yeah, with that said, that's the cantilever. Now let's go on to the final signal, which is the last mast signal pointing towards West Liberty Street. So for this signal, which is similar to that other one, has another Safetran base, 4-inch. And here's the sticker emergency information for this once again. And for the lights, this has one more pair of Safetran 8-inch lights, all incandescent, sitting on a Safetran light bracket. And this signal has no bell on it, as mentioned. So yeah, so this was the rather neat and classic setup here at Broadway in Geneva, Ohio. Here's the relay case. Doesn't really have a milepost on it, but yeah. And also, one thing worth mentioning, there's a defect detector right there. Like right there, right in the middle. And there's also a speaker on the side of it, I think. Or no, that's a light, not a speaker. And I was gonna say, if it's actually a speaker, we should probably hear it in person. Excuse me. So I guess with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the track view. Down there, it's heading west towards another crossing at Eagle Street and also another crossing at Chestnut Street. I believe that's what it's called. But yeah, that's that. And down there is heading east towards another crossing at Walnut Street and eventually towards Centennial Street. And it's just kind of a long straightaway. And you can also see a approach lit color light signal right there. That's incandescent. So yeah, they're all there is to show. So with that said, this was the South Broadway crossing here in Geneva, Ohio. Pretty neat stuff. I would like to get this crossing in action again sometime because I just got in action just now with the intermodal train passing by heading east. So I guess with all that said, over and out.